Hello and welcome back to CrestVahllen D&D. This is the Burnt Ends. We're talking about the Argent Flame episodes 20, 21, and 22. I'm your not so humble Dungeon Master TJ. And yeah, guys, what a session! A lot of stuff happened. So, we started out with the carts and the blood trail. So what happened there, guys?
Finding Naslins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. That guy's terrible.
Immediately piss
Like, I'm
people off.
so glad that Sofko would hate him. Because if Sofko was indifferent about him, I would be like having such a hard time like playing that. But I'm like, Sofka can hate him.
Yeah.
So I was like, just.
But we're making a decent amount of coin just putting up with it.
Sure.
Well, that's the whole thing is, I personally hate him so much, but Cole would be all like, yeah, let's fucking milk this motherfucker for his fucking money, just like Zemdak brought up.
When Log started out fucking with him to begin with, and now he's unconscious and can't be getting the gold and milking him right now.
Right.
Rip Log's financial gains.
Yeah. Speaking of Log being unconscious, personally, as Kevin, I do not trust your green cube.
I love the green cube.
Oh, Samael the Gel?
Yeah. Well,
He's fine.
He's
fine.
Because due to some stuff that I've studied throughout the years, especially going to Catholic school for so long,
Oh my god.
Samael is actually one of the devils and shit like that.
know
Everything's
who
all like,
Samael
no.
But Samael rhymes with gel.
Yeah,
Right.
TJ just like rhymes.
Right.
That's why I was all like,
You'll never know whether he's the devil in disguise or I just like rhymes.
Well, we might know it.
He's the big bad
Right.
at the end of the campaign.
That would
He
be
really is.
iconic.
yeah, he's probably actually the real big bad of the campaign.
Right.
The host is just that little, like,
So
diversionary
funny.
character.
All of you that give me mushrooms will be safe.
I don't care.
What's the demon that's
So
oozes?
cute.
Ublex?
Ublex?
It's an
Lord of
aspect of
Oozes?
Ublex.
The god of oozes or whatever it is?
Yeah.
We just don't know it.
He's so
Like,
cute.
in like Jewish tradition and stuff, though, Samael is actually the devil that fed the apple to Adam and Eve and shit like that. That's
Oh,
why
the
I was-
snake.
Yeah, so that's why I'm all like, fuck, I don't trust this motherfucker.
But he's so cute.
Maybe it's reverse psychology. You'll never know.
We might know if he comes back and tries to kill us.
It helped Willow. It put her on a path to find what she was looking for.
Right, it directed Willow to us. I'm not sure if that's actual help.
It seems like it also gave you that music box too, right? So like, and something happened with that locket
We
during
don't know
that
if
time.
that's
So
good yet, though.
yeah.
I think he's cute and I want to keep him
We'll
around.
find out.
Yeah.
I like how you
I'm
pick
cool.
a song to go through
To me-
that music box.
To Zemdak,
Go
he's
on.
kind of like that.
Yes.
So,
Don't at me,
Yeah.
don't see me.
That's why when
I
he
had to
started out, I was like, shut up.
I had to punch tiny little holes into a long card to put into a music box. Please don't at me.
But no, that's why when he was humming along, I was like, Adam, shut up. I know what it is too. Shut up.
no. So, to Zemdak, he's just another pet that he could potentially make friends with. So,
I mean, he's not going to follow us with the city, as we know. So.
no.
Right.
But,
Hang out in cities.
He's if we just keep
Stop
a
it,
neutral
okay.
relationship with him for a while.
Yep.
No, I want him to be our buddy. He's so
He can,
cute.
yeah.
he apparently seems to be following us too. So,
Which is
Can
weird.
we feed that dwarf to him?
I would rather have him on our side following us than
Oh,
Right.
mad at us following
That
us.
dwarf.
yeah.
Samuel the Gel, the Grimlocks, and the Brain Dogs, as we call them.
I hate brain dogs so much.
Yeah.
Y'all, I got so lucky. I got
Yeah.
so lucky.
Except for Log.
I know.
Fucking that one.
We all
Well,
got
at least still at least
really
you're
good luck.
there.
Yeah.
I'm alive.
Yeah,
You're
half
alive.
of you could be like Log right now.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
what we
I was
fought
almost like Log.
5 of them
I had-
over the
yeah.
course of that combat,
Yeah.
and only one of the 6 of us got screwed by that. So
Right.
I was waiting
I'm sorry,
for them to put
sacrificial Log, but
I mean, if it wasn't happening to anyone, most likely it would have been me. So,
Right.
Right.
You're old because now you guys have the same intelligence. Right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, Cole. I haven't increased Cole's intelligence. This has been Cole's intelligence the whole time. He's wise as shit. He doesn't have street smarts, or he doesn't have smarts. He has street
Book
smarts. Yeah, he doesn't have any book smarts. So, like,
That's
which I actually love the fact that he's a lore bard with,
That
like,
doesn't know
no
lore.
intelligence.
Yeah.
Right.
He doesn't number his pages.
So
Yeah.
like
It drives
really
me
bad
crazy.
history, really bad religion. Like you don't
He doesn't
know
write chapters.
what
Actually,
happened
the
before.
story that I'm working on right now is gonna like jump around a little bit too. Like, oh yeah, this is where we were at. And then like he picks it up later and goes, oh wait, I skipped this. So it'll appear later on in the book.
That's the thing. I'm thinking you don't write chapters. It's just stream of consciousness.
Yeah.
Sounds
Right.
amazing. Just kidding.
I would never read that.
Well, no,
I read-
for
I read
actual
one
book,
book.
like for the actual book in stream of consciousness, when he writes a song, it's actually like the
I
right
read a
way.
book by Paul Auster called The Invisible Man or something like that, or The Invisible something, and it was 2 parts. It was like stream of consciousness, and it was like so existential and weird, but I liked it at the same time, but I also hated it. It was very strange. I read it for a college course. I liked it though.
All the Grimlocks, so many Grimlocks, and then like Zemdak just being like, "Fuck this! I'm gonna go back and just check it out on my own." And just wild.
We left something behind.
Right.
I'm gonna go ninja.
Right.
I'm going ghost.
We don't have a rogue in our party.
Yeah.
So like I am kind of sneaky. I'm not great at it, but I'm good at it. So I figured if anybody was going to be able to do it and get back out alive, it would be me.
But why did we?
Yeah.
We didn't have to do
We
it.
did.
He wanted more batteries for shit.
He said that all of them had one item on them.
No, be honest. You wanted batteries.
No. Honestly, he said that each one of them had an item on them.
That's true.
No, I know
Whether or
he
not
did,
it
but-
was like a magical item that would have been able.
But
to
he
stand a
actually
fireball.
said before you went back that most were probably destroyed based on what he knew.
But I also
You wanted
know
batteries.
magical items aren't that easy to destroy.
Right.
I know, but
Yeah.
I was.
And the fact that you did find a couple already.
I found
so,
2
like,
things.
yeah.
And I was like, that's great. And then he found the 2 things that he wanted.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's great. Now we can not go back. And then you were like, oh, let's go. And I was like, a tiger, and I couldn't tell you no.
Right. I don't know.
well, and Cole has tried to argue with Zemdak about doing stupid shit before,
I still do
and yeah,
I know, but I would have like physically gotten in your way
Yeah.
if I didn't have logs strapped to
Like
me.
there's just yes.
honestly, with his height and him and you being a tiger, a saber-toothed tiger, he could have probably just ducked underneath you and gone around you, whether or not you blocked his way.
Yeah, but I would have like picked him up by his little like
Scruff.
Yeah.
and just like picked him up and walked him up.
Just like running in the air.
Yeah.
Let me go.
Let me go.
So I have like kind of a love-hate relationship with Nazla because on one hand he's doing kind of a good thing, just for the wrong reasons. Because he is saving a lot of people from a far worse fate, but only to make money.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like saying that bail bonds are good. Like that's not good.
No, it's not good. Which and then we get into this whole
In a society where they exist, they're good.
yeah, and that's the thing too. And then we get
Right.
down to this whole moral dilemma and conversation
Having
about
to
like,
have them isn't good.
what is good
Right.
about that.
If you have to have them, like being able to get them is good.
Or you just exploit the shit out of people because they're desperate.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, that's the same thing. So there's two sides. They're kind of two sides of the same coin.
Like
Because it's a shitty world, but what's the lesser of two evils?
going to jail or being constantly in debt. Like
Well, that's the thing. Being in debtor's prison, that's it. You're in prison for
They're gonna-
Until you
Milk
pay it
you.
off, which will take you the rest of your life.
right
They're gonna milk
living
you.
in absolute horrible conditions. So Talkrin's like, hey, we don't want to be in debtor's prison. Well, we'll buy your debt. Come work for us in one of our better establishments that have, like, higher standards.
Right.
And they make shit tons of money on that. They
Oh,
make
yeah.
so much money off of that. And it's good for them and it's good for the other people because otherwise they'll be working in a coal mine somewhere getting black lung and like dying before their debt is even done.
Right.
Whereas like, I mean, Zemdag, you've heard of people that have done that and like, they pay their debt and they go on with their lives. It's not great. It sucks. But what are you going to do?
I really was considering after we got back up the hill with Naslin, seriously trying to grab his little emblem and just kicking him back down to the fucking Grimlocks
Yeah.
with his messed up ankle just because he was so annoying.
But does that mean that like we should kill somebody just because they're annoying? You know, like that's
Well, it's the difference
Yeah.
between being in a really shitty prison where you could like die because the conditions are so bad, or being in a nice cushy prison.
Well,
But they're still
No.
fucking exploiting people.
Oh,
Like,
absolutely, they're
it was
exploiting people. No
more
question.
the way
no
he
question.
was interacting with all of us, too,
Right.
that was driving
Oh,
me
absolutely.
fucking nuts.
Oh yeah,
It just-
so he's not
Well,
he's not a
absolutely.
good he doesn't know any better, which does not an excuse, just a
No,
reason.
exactly.
I just like the morality of it, right? Like, would you kill somebody
right.
just because they're exploitive?
We wouldn't. We let the Grimlocks do it.
yeah.
Leave him there
Kicking the crippled guy down the hole
for,
Yeah,
for sure.
to get
it's a
eaten
bad
by
Just a
Grimlocks.
sprained
that-
Hey,
ankle.
come on.
The Togrins
Come
are
on. This
morally
is
good
the tri-road. Come on.
people. The tri-way, but
I don't
yes.
know.
But it's also like, I don't know. I like Sofka, at least. Like, I don't think it was more about morality. It was more about like watching everything she didn't have
Right.
and watching this guy just be a dick about it.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like, it wasn't about morality. It was just about him
understand.
getting out of her fucking face.
Yeah. Too more often than not, unfortunately, people that have money that aren't exposed to the real world of what it means to not have money lack a massive amount of perspective, and that makes them utterly intolerant.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of like my thing with Cole, and that's part of the reason he was bugging me with Cole is because Cole, while he wasn't rich by any stretch of the imagination, his parents were merchants at a trading post permanently, which means you make some decent money. Cole walked away from that. Cole met you guys with less than like 5 gold pieces on him.
Right.
And so this person who just like, oh, it's a problem, throw money at it. Oh, it's a problem, throw money at it. It was just like annoying.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
Quite literally, that was his
and that
philosophy.
was like one of my biggest. It was the same sort of thing as Sofka. They're like, there's no reason for you to behave like this.
Yeah.
And Cole was like, fuck you.
If he's never known differently, though, there
Oh,
is
I- no,
reason
I get
for
that.
him to
It's
behave.
not again. It's not an excuse. It's
No.
just a reason.
Right.
No, exactly. And that's part of the reason. Like, I was starting to get pissed as Cole just going, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was like it.
Pretty
Like, I
scum.
think,
He's a pretty scummy person.
yeah, like I think for Sofka, it wasn't like, oh, he's a bad person. It
No.
was like he is.
Well, he is a bad
probably,
person.
and I hate
Oh,
him.
he is
He's an exploited. He's an exploitative person.
But it was like every time I see you, I see everything like
that you didn't have.
that I
Yeah.
didn't have, and I see everything that like
He's a constant reminder of turmoil.
yeah, it's like he just like it gets to glide above everything that Sofka had to deal with.
Welcome to the 1% of the 1%.
I'm about to say, has anybody actually met people like this in their real life?
Yeah.
Because I have, where they think that like you can behave any way you want as long as you throw money at it.
Oh, for
I've
sure.
actually met real people like this.
I mean, lawsuits work like that. Here, that's how settlements work. They're
Oh, no.
like, hey,
I know, and
did
it's
a
just
wrong
one of those
thing,
things.
but
It's
you
like
don't sue me. Here's money. Shut up.
Yeah.
Here's hush money.
Sign this
that's
NDA.
the
I'll
whole
give you $1
point of
million.
settlements, Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it.
that's why. Yeah, exactly.
Um, Yeah, the way I see it, it's a person who can't take care of himself in a situation that he can't get out of by himself. And we're here. So we either leave him to die or we take care of him.
Leave him to die because he's annoying the shit out of me.
And that's choice.
But
And
that's
fine.
that's kind of where Cole is.
And I don't
Too. It's all
begrudge
like,
you for
you
it,
know,
but-
I'm not. You know, you're not behaving the way you're behaving and everything like that. You need to pay me enough to really deal with you because otherwise, I want to leave you behind.
Yeah.
So, and then there's the other side of that coin as well. Is that if he's a shitty person and you believe that he's not worthwhile for this world or whatever, what does he mean to you? Could he be a tool that you could use to get what you want at the very least?
Which is what like
Which is what you eventually settled upon.
Yeah.
But I think for Sofka, like she doesn't really have a goal. Like she spent most of her life just surviving. That she's kind of like in this new position of being like
She doesn't really
oh,
desire hundreds of gold.
like she doesn't really want hundreds of gold. She wants enough to feed herself.
Mhm.
She doesn't really want to like change the world. She just wants to like
survive.
Well,
Okay.
and then like
Be
a few
comfortable.
sessions ago, weren't you saying like the amount of like money and gold we were coming into? You were sitting there as Sofka going, "We're
more
rich
than-
now. Like I
Yeah, like,
made like
he's
10
good.
gold. I'm
I don't even
fucking rich."
understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's good.
You gotta have a cushy retirement with what you got, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And she's like, "Why are we wasting our time on this asshole who said he's gonna pay us, and I don't care."
And the other side of that coin, then, if we go even deeper, is that they are a member of a very powerful, highly influential
Yes.
clan.
Right.
Well, and that's part of the reason when he was all like, "Well, you know, for this, I can't really even," because he was kind of doing it with 100 gold too. Of
Yeah.
I can't really pay you now, or we can't really get this down now. But when we get to wherever we're going,
Bureaucracy.
Right.
wherever we're going, then I can put it in the works. And I'm like, well, if that's the case, you need to write something down. I'm not
Right.
taking a word of promise from you, especially from a money person.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing too. You also didn't, with insight and sense, didn't sense that he was lying to you about any of this. He
Right.
was being entirely like,
Right.
this is just how snide and shrewd these types of people are, or at least this guy is.
Yep.
And so like he like, well, like, yeah, sure, I'll put in a good word for you. You like, you know, saved me. You tried to save. You protected some of my investments. You know, sure, I don't have a problem with that. But you know, I'm a businessman. I was raised by businessmen. I was raised by money lenders and all that other thing. I know when I'm being taken advantage of. Like,
Right.
but granted, a couple hundred gold here or there is pennies to me. Whatever.
Right.
Whatever it is you need, that's fine.
But when we
That's
start pushing
the-
on him with no leverage of our own, we're not an established group. We don't have a name for ourselves.
Right, but he's still a cheap bastard.
Right. So that's what I mean. Like, so when we start leaning on him to get more out of him,
Yeah.
he can lean back on us.
He absolutely can.
Which is why, like, every time he tried to lean back on us, I kept going, he doesn't want our help. Everybody, let's leave.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there going, because Cole, as a merchant and being trained to be a merchant, has dealt with people like this all his life. And he knows that if you're trying to draw that line in the sand, walking away is a totally viable negotiation tactic.
That is, it's
Yeah.
called the power of walking away. That's and it's like I don't need this.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason, like, every time, like, he kept trying to go, like,
And it
oh,
becomes
he kept trying to
more
throw his
dilemma.
name and stuff. I was like, cool, he doesn't want our help, guys. Just let's go.
Right, and then it becomes the moral dilemma of like, do you want to leave this
Yes.
Helpless.
relatively
Quote, unquote.
relatively ambiguously
Essentially-
innocent individual to death?
Walking away is also the same thing as killing him.
Yeah.
Right, because of this certain situation. If you
So
were
yes,
walking away from him when he
We
was
can
in the
walk
city,
away. But that's
how
also
does
the
that
same thing as
morally
condemning
weigh
him to
upon your
death,
character's
Yeah.
conscience.
which is what I couldn't.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because Zemdek's a very good boy.
Try to be.
Whereas Cole, he's dealing with people that, like, the skin flints and stuff that he's dealt with his entire life, where he's like, oh, I just saved your life and you're going to negotiate with me? Okay, fine. You don't clearly need my help. You can get it on your own.
Right. So, then let's move on to more tremors. Log. Poor Log.
Dude.
But you-
Yeah.
I mean, it's
What was going through your mind when that happened? Like, it was just like,
It was like, I knew it was going to be me. I got the +1 to intelligence last session, so it's like, yeah, of course, like, you know,
Yep.
everything
Yeah.
bounces out.
yeah.
So
Wait, because you have a 12? Or
10.
or no, you have a 10. You're
Yeah,
even now.
10.
Okay, good. I was about to say, like, wait, that could have changed everything.
Yeah, no, I knew it was going to be one of us. I just wasn't sure exactly which one.
right. And so that's why I was like, you know, I'm going to get like way over here because not as much is happening over here.
Get
and
away
then
from them, and then they pop right out
from the
of
bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
like,
Let's get as far away from those things as possible. Oh shit, there's new ones behind me. Perfect.
Right, and Zemdek, you are like not unfamiliar with these creatures. Like, I don't mean the brain dogs. I mean the Grimlocks.
Oh yeah.
And you know that the Grimlocks there's a lot of them. They're descended from humanoids that ended up down in the depths of the earth that eventually evolved over the years to just be blind
Yep.
and work in service of other higher forms of creatures.
Pre-adventurer too, I knew like they were. You just run away. You just leave them alone. Get as far away as possible.
Also, that kind of begs the question: why the fuck was the dude left and the other guys were
Yeah.
there?
I mean, I think everyone felt like it was a trap. At least it kind of got that sense, and that's one of the reasons we were treating them all, like crap. to
Weird.
begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, why was if they were like, why was he
I don't
there?
know. I think he, from a meta point, I agree. I think he was the bait for us to lure more people into this trap. We didn't insight check him very well. He could very well not be who he says he is, and we don't know.
Well, that's what Argus thinks.
Right.
Yeah, I love Argus rolled a natural one. This guy's your enemy. He's part of the guild. He's your enemy.
Yep.
He's the head of the guild. He's your enemy.
So I don't know. There was just, why would he get dragged away from his own cart, though? I don't know. I can see him as the victim, but I can also see him as some mastermind.
He's a mastermind, so we can kill him. I hate him so much.
Well, because all the other companions were humans.
Yeah.
He was the only dwarf. Like,
Right.
The brain things, just not like dwarf brains or.
Right. So just
Or, I don't know, they just had enough meat and they dropped him and they were going to go back for him later. He was hurt. He couldn't get away.
yeah. But there was no other blood. It was only from the rote, right? So like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Didn't make any sense.
You also noticed that the cuts on the skull cap or the dome
Mm-hmm.
of the heads were very, very clean. Not be able to be created by the clubs that these Grimlocks
Right.
were using.
So there was something else
Right.
to this that was already gone.
That went out that way.
Great.
And maybe he was actually just pocketing the money from them. Knew about this spot, brought them down here. Maybe he cleaved their own.
Yeah,
hemisphere
maybe his
heads
plan originally was to trade those people to whatever this was. And that thing just took advantage.
Mhm.
Took him with them. I don't know how he got left behind to that point, though, right? Like, how did he get dropped and not taken
Right.
without him being more part of it?
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe Samael the Gel has seen what's
We'll
going on.
We'll figure it out later on.
This like episode has had like one NPC that I hate with all my whole heart,
Yeah.
and one NPC that I'm like, that is the cutest thing I've ever seen.
What, the guinea pig?
No,
Oh, the
Samael.
Samael the gel?
I love Samael.
Oh, I'm Samael the gel.
One from
Yes. Aquatine.
Yeah.
And Stitch. They're all the same voice, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought he was so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hello guys, I want a shield.
He's so cute.
Okay.
One of the two was going to end up being a bad guy.
Right.
I am going to be very sad if he ends up a bad guy.
So then Log, being carried by a bugbear saddle on the back of the lion, and then carried to a cart and moved throughout. Let's talk about the void. You remember the void. Let's not talk about too much about the specifics of the void because that's something that only you know.
Well, because it hasn't always been a void.
Right. When the void is the term I'm using for what you know what it is. So that I'm being ambiguous about it so you understand what it is. Because it's not just the black ground. You know what the ground's made out of.
Yeah.
You know what the horizon is made out of. You know what's going on there. But that's where you do end up back. But the thing that is different is how the lectern that disgorges from the ground that is there now has this caged like lion moving back and forth,
Well,
wanting to get out.
Not caged anymore, apparently.
And then the
It's just-
page
it's just
just
a
in, and you're like,
paper.
okay, bye.
Yeah.
To be able to defeat a piece of paper.
You should be able to feed a piece of
No,
paper.
I should be able to defeat a piece of paper.
Right?
Yeah.
Well,
Paper cuts are real, man.
that's a real, and spell scrolls are powerful.
We were kind of saying something earlier too. I really like the way that you leave patrons ambiguous. Just as a player to the DM, like,
I feel like it's important like that because if you know everything about your patron, it's way too easy to meta. And what's the whole point? Like a part of being a warlock too is really important for your patron to be shrouded in mystery. Because if you knew everything about your patron, you wouldn't have made a deal with them.
Right.
Or whatever. Or a multitude of other reasons. There's a reason why your patron is a patron and not a deity.
Right.
And that has a lot to do with
You can't just
patron.
pray to that being and get divine power.
There's a reason why
You
you're a
have to
warlock
actually
and not a cleric.
right.
A lot of reasons.
But it's
What
a fine line. It's a very fine distinction.
Yeah, well, thank you. I like to keep it shrouded in mystery. I think it's a great point and a hook for character development.
Yeah.
And like for things like, whoa, what have I been doing this whole time? Like
Right.
that's what this is. Like, or sometimes there's a turning point, or sometimes there's a point of commitment. So I feel like it's important to keep it shrouded.
Yeah.
And it patrons often prey upon those who need the most too. They
Right.
say like, I have the power to save you, yes or no. I can walk away, can't you?
Right.
I'll tell you only as much as I want you to know.
Yeah.
And it's not always nefarious, and it's not always benevolent, but them's the breaks. I mean, fuck, look at Artaga. He was like, oh, hello, just,
It's only kind of exploitative situation.
yeah, there's definitely, granted that was cleric, but it was like, there's definitely
No,
some
I mean,
warlock
yeah.
there going on.
Because that's what she
Yeah.
wanted to play, and so that he let her flavor it like that.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So we've got the void. Yeah, I do want to talk a little bit more about the void, just a little bit. Not the specifics of what the void is, but just of Log has never been in the void for this long.
Yeah.
And it's not the most sane place to be.
I mean, just because he's alone, and there's
Yeah,
just,
and like there are probably going to be points at which the void may start affecting your mental acuity or psychic stability, as it were.
solitary confinement.
Yeah,
Right.
Kinda.
and
I mean, he already
and just-
talks to skulls.
Yeah, I mean, it's not much. You can't get much weirder, right? Yeah, I mean, because and also just by the nature of what the void is, it's not part of this world. So like, there's some other weird shit going on. But yes, the void is great. I really love the idea. Kind of came to me. I really love the idea of having it caged in a book and having like its movement be like that flip book style, and depending on which direction it's going, that's the way the book's pages turn. I thought that was some really cool imagery.
Yeah.
What else? We have more tremors. We had the Samuel the jail show up. We had
Ghosts.
the ghosts. Yeah, so 19 ghosts of dwarves, Gordurgar, and gnomes plinking away and mining things.
If I was conscious, what I would have done is summon York's ghostly form and send him in there to just
Party
see
with
if
the
he,
ghost.
see if he like blends in, if like what happens to him.
Oh, summon undead?
yeah.
Oh.
And summon his ghostly form.
Oh, right,
and
right.
Let him just kind of wander around and
Yeah.
report
The
back.
infiltrator, yeah.
Right. That could have been a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the pièce de la résistance, how we ended with you know what? This whole thing of
Okay.
you putting a bunch of spells into this syringe and then dagging it.
It's
it
like the
reminded
first
of-
time I've like tried to experiment.
Right.
Really.
So, but this reminded of you ever as a kid go outside and just like make mud pies
Yeah.
and just put a bunch of stuff together and say like I'm making something, but you have no idea what you're making. That's what it reminded me of. And then you're just like, I made this. I made this.
I kind of, but like I also had like I had a purpose. I had a
For sure.
thought, like a theme behind it.
Right.
It's just
What I
your
was trying
lack
to
of
do.
understanding like
Oh yeah.
baking.
Right.
Really. or like how things mix together when
Yeah.
when it
It's
comes
like-
to
It was very much
baking.
like on the fly,
Yeah.
ad hoc
Burgers out
kind of
of
thing.
dirt, and you know it's supposed to be a burger,
Right.
and
Right.
you're selling it as a burger
But
to
it's
your mom.
but dirt.
But it's definitely dirt.
Yeah, it's just straight up dirt. So, like these things don't mix together. Like when you add a bunch of cleaning liquids together, hoping it'll make the thing cleaner, but it just like turns into this gelatin, and it doesn't work very well anymore. All this other weird stuff.
Yeah.
I love that I really was liking that whole like kind of revivify ritual and
Yeah,
getting
it
some
kind of
stuff
seemed like
together.
it. Yeah.
And I really like the moonbeams are gonna shoot out of the tips of your fingers. And
Injected with light.
yeah, you injected it, but you could swallow it.
I really wanted him to be a ghost.
He
Scratch
still
him,
could be,
And his
maybe.
knuckles shakes it out a little bit, and then his hands glow.
He takes bludgeoning damage, and all of a sudden, like that spot glows.
Ooh, that'd be
Right.
cool.
So the last thing I want to, because I just want to go on the table. What it is that what this image is the form that it was on the fetish itself of the whatever creature or entity that was part of the fetish, that like whatever creature, entity, whatever had now it's now taken animated form within the book. When it came out of the book, it was still that like take on me, aha, sketchy style.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yep.
It was just no longer on a page, as the page was like ripped and torn asunder. I wanted to get your opinion as to what you possibly think this thing could be, and what its origins are. I want to understand your suspicions. Or are you guys completely clueless?
Well,
I mean-
there's like a little bit that you shared with me that I don't know how much I should divulge.
I don't remember which one it is. But if you think it's too much, don't. But if you think it'd be better to do it in character, it's up to you.
Well, so I can't remember if you told me that like this is like meta what you were telling me, or if it was. Well, no, I don't think. I think it was like.
Text me. Text me, and we'll start over here. What do you think, Adam?
So the only thing I can think of is it's some sort of an eldritchly twisted version of something normal, right? Because I don't know. It's like some sort of an aberration or monster or monstrosity version of something normal.
Are you getting that inspiration from the other campaign that you're in?
No,
Okay.
just
Cameron over there laughing. Cameron's our studio audience.
like I don't know, like you take bits and pieces of other things and you know, like a displacer beast or I don't know, like different kinds of creatures that I know already exist, and you sort of like twist them a little bit, and that could be this creature. Sort of like an eldritchly,
Like a mix between like Simic science
Right.
and like eldritch
Correct.
abominations.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Possibly, yeah. That's really cool. I like that idea a lot. Yeah.
obviously not
Super
it.
creepy.
But-
It's not. Doesn't that, that's guys? I'm really good at hiding whether it's the thing or not. What Theo? What do you think?
I don't know enough about it. Like, I came into the campaign after they found it. Like, everyone found it. So I don't really know a lot about it. All I know is that it's creepy and weird, and I don't like it. I know about as much as Sofka knows, basically.
Right.
So,
You do
like-
know that, like, what they told you about how the idol itself, the fetish, what it was sentient. It was aware of its own existence, and that when kept in somewhat a perimeter or in like close locale, close proximity to you guys, when you guys went to bed, it sometimes would not enable you to have a
It had
good
some
rest
connection to like
because of
a
nightmares.
dream realm
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Psychic-y kind of.
Then I still have no idea.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh, you can share that.
So going back to when we leveled up to level 3 and I was missing for like 3 days.
Yeah.
So my patron was like, "You got to kill the traitor,"
Mm-hmm.
and that was
Oh shit.
Right.
that's like
Okay.
pretty much kind of all the info I got
Yeah.
at that time.
That makes sense. And then the mongrel flood.
It's another wolf spirit kind of thing.
And then when Cole and I were like having our showdown in the void,
Yep.
running towards it, that what my patron said was, "Traitor."
Right.
And so it's like, okay,
And you felt like you were prey.
Right.
and Cole was like the predator.
But that role is like shifted multiple times.
Yes.
There have been times when it's like I was the
It's
predator.
like
and he
two
was the
apex
prey.
predators competing for this top slot.
And so yeah, so the sense is that this is some kind of powerful being, or that was created by a powerful being, and there's now multiple of them we know.
A piece of
And my patron's worried that it's like getting too powerful,
Right.
and so
I guess
What that means for you and why your patron either wants to.
none of us
create
have
or-
really asked you about your patron either, so we don't really know
Yeah, you've kind of given him his space.
what
with
your
that
patron
stuff.
is.
Yeah.
Also, Log's kind of that aloof character.
We know you have a connection to like the wolf, the moon wolf, but other than that, we don't know anything about where any of your powers come from.
well, because you guys have asked in the past, and I was kind of like, I didn't really know.
Yeah.
Pretty much,
Right.
I just explained that it was kind of still a bit of a mystery to me.
Yeah. So I guess I don't even know, what that means. So even if this creature is sort of like the devil to your patron, like angel versus devil kind of thing.
Yeah,
Right.
the traitor
Right. Like,
kind of thing.
I don't even know. Technically, I don't even know what that means. Like what your patron is to be an opposite or a competitor to.
It was like a previous warlock of this patron who then
Yeah.
got powerful enough to become a traitor
Yep.
or something like that.
I mean, if I think you're like a great old one.
Yeah.
So like, just like Cthulhu versus Cthulhu, like different,
Right. Mecha Cthulhu.
Right.
like different great old ones, right? So this is just a shard of a different old one.
Right.
All right, last one, Noel. What do you think?
Well, I think based off of Trisheni's experience, like she's seen a lot of wild stuff that are different worlds, different things, right? So like it's not that crazy that something like this could exist or could be like from just a different plane or different world. So that's like the fact that it is able to jump around psychically to other people like that. It's from some other world, obviously, and not necessarily this one. And the fact that,
Like from a different dimension.
yeah, either a different dimension
another
or just a
plane
different,
or-
yeah, or just a different actual physical planet too. So,
Ah,
right,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. So that, I mean, based off of Trisheni's
And if so,
experience.
why here? Why now?
Right, and it could almost be like a gatekeeper type thing, right? Like, yeah, it just seems like there's something
I'm the keymaster. You the gate.
right. It seems like it's definitely some lesser.
There is
being
only
that has a-
Zool.
Right, right.
What was the name of the Ghostbusters?
You got it.
Yeah,
No, but it was like it started with a G.
Gozer.
Gozer.
That was in the second one.
I thought Gozer was
No, I think it's the one in the
Gozer was
first
still
one.
the first one too,
Okay.
because Gozer showed up. At the
Oh
first
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Because Zool, I believe, was just the name of the
One of the
the-
two.
one of the
of the
gatekeepers.
gate of the
I am
gatekeeper.
Zool.
Yeah.
Gozer was the David Bowie looking
Yeah.
one at the end.
Love it. R.I.P. David Bowie. All right, great guys. That's all the time we have for the Burnt Ends today. Thank you for sticking around with us. Go check out our Discord, our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter, all at CrestVahllen. That's CREST, capital VAHLLEN. And we'll see you next time. Stay safe out there. Bye.